January 30th, 2026. A floodgate bursts. 3.5 million pages, videos, images. The Epstein files unleash hell. Not just scandals, but the abyss of power. Names that echo, secrets that sting, and a truth so dark it could shatter the world. This is the story they tried to erase. For 7 long years, the world was told it's too dangerous. National security, victim privacy, those were the excuses. But behind every locked file, behind every redaction, a machine of control kept spinning. A machine that protected the untouchable. A machine that silenced the broken. Think back. 2008, Epstein convicted, walks free after 13 months. 2019, Epstein dead in a cell, cameras off, guards asleep, autopsy questioned, silence, years of silence. Then Maxwell convicted in 2021, 20 years, still silence. The powerful kept breathing, the victims kept bleeding, until the pressure became unbearable. The Epstein Files Transparency Act, signed under pressure in November 2025, left no escape. And when the digital doors swung wide, what poured out was not just evidence, it was a confession from the system itself. A confession that power does not fear exposure. It fears the moment when the powerless stop believing the lie. This is no ordinary leak. This is the moment the mask slipped, and what we saw underneath changed everything. We are not here to speculate. We are here to confront, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you know it, you can't unknow it. The files didn't just reveal crimes, they revealed a blueprint. A blueprint of how power hides, how it protects itself, and how it destroys anyone who gets too close. This is the story of that blueprint and the people who still live inside it. Jeffrey Epstein masqueraded as a genius financier, but his real talent, ensnaring the elite. Convicted in 2008 for procuring minors, he served mere months in a jail more like a resort. His tools, the Lolita Express jet, Little St. James, the Pedalast Island. Billionaires flocked. Bill Clinton, 26 documented flights. Prince Andrew, island visits, now stripped of titles. Bill Gates, meetings post-conviction. Emails showing regret. Epstein's death in 2019, official suicide, but whispers of murder linger. Ghislaine Maxwell, his right hand, convicted in 2021, 20 years. Appeal denied in 2025. The Epstein Files Transparency Act, signed by Trump in November 2025, demanded everything out. And on January 30, 2026, the DOJ complied. But was it all, or just enough to pacify? The files are a labyrinth of evil. Survivors' voices cut through. Virginia Giuffre, Johanna Schoberg, tales of coercion, abuse, trafficking. Girls promised dreams, delivered nightmares. Hidden cameras in every mansion, every island suite. Blackmail as currency. The Black Book expands. More than 200 new names, tech moguls, Hollywood stars, foreign dignitaries. Unverified tips flood in, dozens accusing Trump, timed suspiciously before 2020 elections. The DOJ flags them as potential fakes, disinformation, but the verified horrors. Emails where Epstein brags of leverage over clients. Financial trails to banks like JP Morgan, sued for enabling the ring. $75 million settlement in 2023, but files show deeper complicity. Island logs, parties with minors. Videos are blurred, but descriptions chill the bone. And ongoing rings? Tips point to Epstein's old contacts still active in 2026. The pyramid didn't collapse, it just went underground. And then there are the voices that break you. Survivors describing how Epstein would sit them down, show them photos of powerful men, and say,
"See, they can't touch me."
One girl recalls him laughing.
"Even presidents owe me favors."
Another speaks of nights when the cameras rolled while she was told,
"Smile for the important people."
These are not rumors. These are sworn depositions. These are the screams they muffled for decades. And in 2026, those screams finally echoed back. The psychological toll is staggering. One survivor said, "Every time a new file drops, it's like reliving it." Another, "I see my own face in the blurred photos, and I know exactly what happened next." These are not statistics. These are human beings. And the files prove the abuse was systematic, the protection was deliberate, and the silence was bought. The files also show the grooming process in chilling detail. Epstein and Maxwell would target girls at malls, schools, even family introductions. Promises of modeling contracts, education, money. Then came the massages, the required favors, the threats. You won't be believed, you have no power, and worst of all, you will never escape. The trauma didn't end when they left the island. It followed them into every courtroom, every headline, every nightmare. And yet they spoke. They spoke in 2026, and the world finally had to listen. Epstein wasn't the kingpin, he was the pawn. The theory, a global elite pyramid. Investors poured in cash. When it dried up, they demanded returns. Couldn't pay? Collect by force. Silence, fear, lives. Fast confessions in spin-off cases, scripted. $500 million fortune vanished into offshore trusts. Fall guys took the hit. Files hint at intelligence links, Mossad, CIA shadows. Why else the protection? Trump's act forced the release, but redactions scream cover-up. Who benefited from the delay? The powerful still pulling strings. The files show something even colder. Epstein wasn't just trafficking girls, he was trafficking influence. And when the money trail went cold, the collectors arrived, not with lawsuits, not with subpoenas, with finality. The theory isn't wild, it's the only explanation that fits the pattern. Look at the timeline. Epstein's death in 2019, Maxwell's arrest in 2020, the act signed in 2025, the release in 2026. Every step delayed, every revelation controlled, and every powerful name still breathing. The collectors didn't just want money back, they wanted the entire operation erased, and they were willing to erase people to do it. The files even contain financial ledgers showing transfers of hundreds of millions, some to offshore shell companies, some to consulting firms owned by Epstein's inner circle. When the money stopped flowing, the structure became unstable, and unstable structures collapse, or they are made to collapse. Someone decided to collect, not just funds, but control, silence, and when that failed, finality. The files sparked chaos. By February 2026, new lawsuits exploded. JP Morgan faced another $200 million class action, settled out of court by April, admitting oversights. Maxwell's final appeal failed in March 2026, life in prison. Trump tips? DOJ investigated, 80% proven fake, planted by political rivals. But real revelations led to arrests. 12 Epstein associates charged in June 2026 for trafficking. The island, sold to a whistleblower foundation, turned into a survivor center by August. Ongoing probes into the black book names, 5 elites indicted by October, including a tech billionaire. Yet the core mystery, who masterminded it? Solved? Partially, but shadows remain. The pyramid cracked, but didn't fall. These files aren't ancient history, they're a mirror. Power corrupts, and the vulnerable pay. Survivors won battles, but the war rages. Intelligence ties? Still classified.
The darkest lesson? When secrets surface, the elite fight back harder. But something shifted in 2026. For the first time, survivors were not just believed, they were heard. Lawsuits gained traction, foundations were funded, the island, once a symbol of evil, became a place of healing. Yet the question lingers, if 3.5 million pages showed this much evil, what is still hidden in the remaining darkness, and who is still protecting it?
The files exposed a system, but exposing it doesn't end it. The system adapts, it rebrands, it waits, and it strikes again when the world looks away. The survivors know this. They live it every day, and they are still fighting. The darkest new Epstein files changed everything. But the truth demands more. Subscribe now for unfiltered exposés. Hit the bell, like if this shook you. Comment who's still hiding. Share this video, because silence is their weapon. We're not stopping. We're going deeper. The next drop is coming, and we will be ready. See you next time.